Hello and welcome back. Last time, we saw Prince Siddhartha make the life-altering decision to leave his palace, his family, and a life of luxury, all in search of an answer to the fundamental problem of human suffering. Now, we follow him into the wilderness of ancient India, a journey that would last 6 long years. What did he do during this time? Who did he meet? And what did he learn? This is the story of Siddhartha's noble search. To really get what happens next, we need to picture the world Siddhartha stepped into. We're in the 6th century BCE, a time historians call the Axial Age. All across the globe, revolutionary new ideas about spirituality and philosophy were bubbling up. In India, the dominant religious culture was the Brahminical tradition, with its complex rituals, a rigid caste system, and the absolute authority of the sacred texts called the Vedas. But there was a powerful countercurrent stirring. Groups of wandering ascetics, known as shramanas, were challenging the status quo. They rejected the priests, the rituals, and the old authorities. They weren't interested in just following rules. They wanted direct, personal experience of the truth. They wanted to find a way to break free from samsara, the endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Siddhartha entered this vibrant, chaotic marketplace of ideas. The forests along the Ganges River were filled with teachers, gurus, and philosophers, each one claiming to have found the ultimate path. Some believed that inflicting pain on the body through extreme fasting and self-mortification would purify the soul. Others developed incredibly sophisticated techniques of meditation to explore the inner world of the mind. There were skeptics, materialists who said this life is all there is, and even fatalists who believed everything was predetermined and human effort was pointless. So where does a seeker even begin? Luckily, some of the oldest Buddhist texts, especially a discourse called the Noble Search Sutta, give us a remarkably clear account of Siddhartha's journey. His first stop was to seek out a famous meditation master named Alara. This wasn't a random choice. Alara Kalama was one of the most respected teachers of his time, known for his ability to guide students into profound states of consciousness. The fact that he is mentioned in so many ancient texts gives us confidence that he was a real historical person. It is one of the most solid facts we have about the Buddha's life before his enlightenment. Alara Kalama's specialty was a meditation practice that led to a state he called the sphere of nothingness. Imagine quieting your mind so deeply that all thoughts, all sensations, even the sense of existing in a vast, infinite space, completely fades away. What's left is just a bare awareness of, well, nothingness. It's a state of consciousness so subtle it's almost impossible to describe. The texts tell us that Siddhartha took to this practice with astonishing speed. What took other students years to learn, he mastered in a matter of weeks or months. He could enter this deep state of mental absorption whenever he wanted, experiencing a reality far beyond ordinary perception, a place where the normal sense of self dissolves. Alara Kalama was blown away. He saw Siddhartha's talent and made him an extraordinary offer. He said, "You are now my equal. I have nothing more to teach you. Stay here and teach with me. Together, we will lead this community." Think about that. Siddhartha, a young man still in his 20s, was being offered a position of respect, authority, and influence. He could have settled down, become a renowned guru, and had students of his own. But he said no. The texts record his reasoning with piercing clarity. He thought to himself, this teaching doesn't lead to disenchantment, to dispassion, to cessation, to peace, to direct knowledge, to enlightenment, to nibbana. It only leads to rebirth in the sphere of nothingness. What did he mean? He realized that this meditative state, as profound and peaceful as it was temporary. When he came out of the meditation, the world was still there. The fundamental problems of old age, sickness, and death still loomed. Craving, anxiety, and suffering would still arise. He had found a powerful anesthetic, a temporary escape from suffering, but he hadn't found a permanent cure. The sphere of nothingness was still a conditioned state. It depended on causes. It had a beginning and an end. It was a very refined, very subtle form of existence, but it wasn't true, unconditional freedom. And so, with great respect, he thanked Alara Kalama and continued his search. His quest then led him to another highly regarded teacher, Uddaka Ramaputta. Like Alara Kalama, Uddaka is considered a real historical figure. He taught an even more advanced and subtle form of meditation, one that led to a state called the sphere of neither perception nor nan perception. This is considered the absolute pinnacle of what can be achieved through sheer concentration. In this state, consciousness becomes so refined that you can't say you're perceiving anything, but you can't say you're not perceiving either. It's the very edge of existence, the most subtle state of mind imaginable within the cycle of rebirth. And once again, Siddhartha mastered it with incredible speed. According to the story, Uddaka Ramaputta was even more impressed than Alara Kalama. He didn't just offer Siddhartha leadership, he offered him the whole show. He said, "In essence, you are greater than I am. You should be the sole teacher of this community." This was an even bigger offer. Siddhartha could have become one of the most celebrated spiritual teachers in all of India, the head of an established lineage with a large following. He would have been secure, respected, and famous. And again, he declined. He went through the same process of investigation. After emerging from this sublime state, he saw that the fundamental problem remained unsolved. The world was still the world. Suffering was still suffering. This was the highest peak of meditative achievement known to the spiritual seekers of his day. And yet, it still wasn't the answer. He didn't provide the unconditional, permanent freedom he was looking for. His conclusion was the same. This path only leads to a temporary rebirth in a very high, subtle realm, but it doesn't lead to the end of suffering, to Nibbana. So he thanked Uddaka Ramaputta and departed once more, alone. It's really important to pause and think about the significance of this. Siddhartha had now mastered the most advanced meditation techniques available in his world. He had achieved states of consciousness that most spiritual seekers could only ever dream of. These are experiences that many people, both then and now, would mistake for final enlightenment. It's easy to get attached to a blissful, peaceful state and think, "This is it, I've made it." But Siddhartha's genius was his sharp, discriminating wisdom. He wasn't arrogant, he was just incredibly clear-eyed. He recognized that these exalted states, as amazing as they were still conditioned. They depended on specific causes and effort to arise. They were impermanent. They arose, and they would eventually pass away. And because they were impermanent, they were ultimately unsatisfying. They offered a temporary vacation from suffering, not a permanent liberation from it. This was a critical turning point. He had proven to himself that concentration and meditative absorption alone, no matter how powerful, were not enough. He had gained invaluable skills in calming and focusing the mind, skills that would be essential later. But he had also learned a vital lesson. The answer didn't lie in simply transcending the world or escaping into blissful states. The answer had to be found right here, in the midst of life, by understanding the very nature of suffering itself. Having exhausted the path of meditation, Siddhartha turned to another popular approach of his time, extreme asceticism. He decided that if escaping the body wasn't the answer, perhaps conquering it was. This next phase of his journey would push him to the very brink of death and lead him to another profound discovery. And we'll explore that incredible story in our next video. Thanks so much for watching. If you're finding this journey as fascinating as I am, please hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter. See you then.